Oh my gosh, my battery is not even going to last this whole video. Hello friends and welcome back to another video. And today I'm here with a book video. In 2023, I read 69 books. Now, I wish I had done more reading vlogs and more book content throughout the year. However, the year just kind of got away from me. But here's my new bookshelf. I don't think I have filmed a book video since I got this bookshelf situation, but here's some of my books. There's some more up here and there's actually some more back in my other shelf still. It's a work in progress. This is also a kid's, like the bottom half is for my children. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kirsty. I'm 27. I live in Adelaide with my gorgeous family. I mainly just vlog my life. I do a lot of lifestyle vlog, mum content, that sort of thing, and then book content whenever I can. As I said, I read 69 books last year, which for a mother of two, that's a lot of books. Like I have a 2-year-old and a almost 1-year-old, and life's pretty busy. So the fact that I still read 69 books is amazing. I would have loved to have made 70. However, unfortunately, I just didn't quite get there, and that's fine. Now, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this video. I haven't really planned anything. I just wanted to wing it. So my plan is I'm just going to go through the books I read this year, and I'm going to tell you which ones, like my favorite ones basically, because a lot were in series, so I think I can kind of smash through what I've read. So as I said, 2023, I read 69 books. I started off strong. And the first few books that I read, I sort of smashed through the Calamity Montana series by Devney Perry. I have read all of those this year. Not all of them were at the start of the year, but I sort of slowly made my way through them. I think there's 5 or 6 out so far, and there's another one to come still. Maybe more, I'm not sure. But I loved the Calamity Montana series. There's Small Town Romance by Devney Perry. She just kills the small town romance. I just love her so much. I find her such a comfort reader. So I read The Bride, The Bluff, The Brazen, The Bully, The Booty, and then later in the year came out, oh no, that was The Brood came out later in the year, and I read that when it came out as well. So I got up to date and then read the new one once it came out. I won't go into too much detail. However, if you like small town romance, these are all interconnecting standalone. So each book is a different couple in the small town of Calamity, and they all just follow, different couples that are then all like friends with each other and all connected, and you get to see all of their love stories. They're all like around 300 pages, super easy reads, super nice, cozy, good vibes. I just love them. So I highly recommend the Calamity Montana series. I would probably give the series like a 4-star in total. I then read Raising Girls Who Like Themselves by Casey Edwards and Christopher Scanlon. They're a couple. They have 2 girls, and they basically did all this research on how to raise girls who like themselves in a society that tells us that we're not good enough, basically. And it was super eye-opening. Me having 2 daughters myself, I am so passionate about how I want to raise them and how I want them to love themselves and be proud of themselves and powerful women and all of these things. So I absolutely love that. If you are a parent, they also have one for boys now as well. So no matter what gender children you have, they very much go into detail as well about the fact that we wish it was equal and everyone was treated equally, but just everyone's nature treats boys and girls differently. It's inevitable. Like, you'll say to a girl, oh my god, you look so pretty, and you'll say to a boy, oh, you look so handsome. Like, there's different, there's a lot, but it was really, really eye-opening, and I enjoyed a lot of it, and I found a lot of it really insightful. I'm trying to get all of my like family members and extended family and everyone to read it too, so they can understand some of the parenting techniques that I am putting in place that I've learned from this book. So highly recommend. I also then read Wish You Were Here by Renee Carlino. It wasn't too bad. It was okay. It was like a 3-star. I love Renee Carlino's writing style, and I find her books very easy to digest, but I wasn't obsessed with the story. But I did still smash through it in like 3 days. I then read I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which I feel like everyone and their mum read or listened to in the last year. I listened to it on audio, loved it, flew through it. Like the trigger warnings, but if those things aren't triggering to you, I would highly recommend giving it a listen. Then read Jasper Vale and Crimson River as they came out this year. So this isn't necessarily in order of what I read this year, but Jasper Vale came out quite at the start of the year and Crimson River came out later in the year. These are books 4 and 5 of the Eden series by Devney Perry as well. These have just been traditionally published in Adelaide. Well, in Australia, you can now get them from Big W for like $12 or $14. I highly recommend if you are a Devney Perry lover and you've been reading all of her books on Kindle Unlimited like I have, because all of her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. I have been smashing through her books, obviously. I read the first 4 books in her series at the very back end of last year, and then smashed through these 2 as soon as they came out this year. This one is about Jasper and Eloise. Loved it. This one is about Lila and Vance. I didn't love this one as much, but I do love the cover more. Like, that is so stunning. This one I did love a lot. Again, small town romance, focuses on a family called the Edens. They each get a book. Each of the siblings get a book themselves. Then there's also a Christmas novella and also a short story on their parents. Each book focuses on a different sibling falling in love. It's stunning. As I said, small town romance, can't really go wrong. So if you are into a small town romance, I highly recommend The Edens by Daphne Perry as well, which are now available in like Big W. I then read a couple of non-fictions. I read Atomic Habits and She's on the Money. I listened to them on audio as well. Loved both. Highly recommend if you are wanting to work on yourself or work on your finances. Great books. I then read The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This is a really good book. This is a YA mystery. This is the same author who did One of Us Are Lying, which I haven't read yet, but I'm in the process of starting. Love this. Short little 300 and something page book. They're like 300 pages. They go to an island to work. They have been summoned by their grandmother who they do not know. It's a bunch of cousins and the story goes from there. A great mystery. Highly recommend. Probably a 4.5 star. I smashed it in a few days. This year I also read Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hyped and Liked. I loved both of these. Not my favourite books of all time, but they were very enjoyable. 4 stars. Quite big though. I struggled with this one at the start. They kept using the term evil sister, which just sounded very childish. It felt a little bit silly at the start, but I would say probably a third of the way in I got really into it, really liked it, really like a floppy paperback. So I read both of these. I'm yet to read Things We Left Behind. I'm getting there. It's not really high on my list because these weren't like 5 stars, but I love the covers. But they were really good. 4.5 stars. So highly recommend. They were still very good. Apparently I've decided I'm going through every book that I read. I then read In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. Now this book I feel like is controversial because some people love it, some people hate it. I loved the first half and then it really slowed down and then it got good again at the end. So I'm really confused with my rating. The first like 150 pages I read in a day and I was like, this is gonna be a 5 star. This is perfect. I love it. It's incredible. And then I don't know why, but it got a bit average after that. And I honestly don't know why, but it just wasn't as good. For a little while after that, I kind of just lost interest a little bit. And then it got good for the last like 50 pages. So I rated it like a 4 star. It was on Kindle Unlimited. I did really enjoy it. I liked the characters. It is about a girl who goes to work on a raspberry farm, strawberry farm that her grandpa left her, or her nana. I can't remember the detail. Like she inherited this house and this farm and I think the rule was that she had to get married in the year, like she lived there for a year and in that year she had to get married to then keep it beyond the year. So she decided, I'm just gonna go and live there for the year and enjoy it and soak it up and then I'll have to sell it, or like it won't be mine anymore. She had really good memories there as she was a child, something like that. It was really good. I then also started and completed what is currently out of the Magnolia Parks series. So I read first Magnolia Parks. If I'm completely honest, I struggled at the start of this. I found it hard to read. It was a very different type of writing to what I'm used to. However, in the end, I fell in love, smash, ended up being like a 4.5 star. However, then I got onto Daisy Hates. I prefer Daisy. I think you're either a well, I don't know. I don't know if everyone does have favorites, but I prefer Daisy. I then smashed through Daisy Hates, loved it. I love Julian. I love that there is 3 POVs in this book. You get Daisy and her interest and her brother, which I find awesome. If you do not know what Magnolia Parks is about, I would be very shocked. I feel like it's all over the internet. However, it's basically high society London, gossip girl in London, rich people drama, there's cheating, there's drugs, there's mafia, bit of everything. So I smashed the first 2 and then I read also Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home and Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. I don't know which one is my favorite, but I think overall it's like the Daisy Hates books. I loved these. I just love them. And you either love them or you hate them because the relationships in them are toxic. It's very unrealistic, but like, as in like for a normal person like myself, I'm never gonna have the lifestyle of these people. So I think it's one of those things you either love it or you hate it, and I love it. It's juicy, it's dramatic, it's very extra and very unnecessary sometimes. The relationships are frustrating and soul crushing and just everything that I love in a book, to be completely honest. So I loved the Magnolia Parks series and I devoured it this year. I also then went back to some more Daphne Perry. I read the entire Lark Cove series. I loved all of them. The first one, stunning. I don't think any were less than a 3.5 star. Again, probably a 4.5 star series. I love Daphne Perry. As I've said, again, a small town romance, interconnecting standalones. You get the gist. I also read Coach by Daphne Perry. I liked the book a lot, but I didn't like the male main character that much. So that put a bit of a downer on it for me, but I did love the story. There was single parent trope, which is my favorite. And so I highly recommend that as well. But you may get pissed off with the male main character if you're anything like me. I then started the ACOTAR series. I did A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury. They were both very good. I haven't gone back to the 3rd book yet, but I will. I'm gonna have to go feed a child back to sleep and I will be right back. So yeah, I really liked the ACOTAR series. I didn't love the first book. It took me forever to get through. I actually started it at the very start of the year and then finished it like halfway through the year. I just like kept going back and forth and I wasn't sure if I was enjoying it or not. And then when I got to the end of that one, I was like, yes, I'm ready for ACOMAF. So I smashed through that and then just had too many other books that I was loving more, so I didn't go back for A Court of Wings and Ruins yet, but it is on my 2024 TBR. Okay, I have fed the baby. She's back asleep. We're all good to go. Then, I won't get it out, but just here. I then read Heartstrong by Elodie Pullen. This one broke my heart into a million pieces. If you don't know Elodie's story, she lost her partner in a shallow water blackout in 2020, and basically it was about their life together and then like him passing and her healing and all sorts. It was very heartbreaking, but very good read. I cried lots, but I also loved it. I then read an entire small town romance series. This is the Cloverleaf Farm series by Melanie Harlow. I loved this, and I know not everyone loves this because, actually, I'm not sure why, because I just loved it. Small town romance, 5 books, 5 sisters. Their family own the Cloverleaf Farms. I loved all of them except Unforgettable. Yeah. This is the only one I didn't like, which was the last one. So there's Irresistible, Undeniable, Insatiable, Unbreakable, and Unforgettable. Devoured these, loved them. Yeah, each book focuses on a different sister and her love story, and I just really, really enjoyed this. I think most of them got a 4-star. I think the first one got a 5-star. The only thing I didn't like about this is there's an age gap trope. I hate an age gap. I find it really pointless. It gets brought up way too often, even if there's not that big of an age gap. I think there's a 10-year age gap between these two, and that was my only downfall. It was my favorite trope ever though, single parent, and he has 3 daughters, so I think I just connected to his character a lot in that aspect. But yeah, highly recommend. Again, these are on Kindle Unlimited. I then bought them from Amazon because I just loved the covers. Like, how stunning are they? So I really liked them, like, on my bookshelf because I just thought they were stunning. But yeah, free on Kindle Unlimited to read. Highly recommend. I'm very intrigued to read some other Melanie Harlow books and see how I like her writing in a different setting. But in Cloverleaf Farms, I thoroughly enjoyed. Along with everyone else on the internet, I then read Happy Place by Emily Henry. This was actually the first Emily Henry book I read. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think I had the same reading experiences as other people I know, aka my good friend Rachel Catherine. I believe her reading experience was very different to mine. However, I did still enjoy the story. I really liked them. I did find it very miscommunication-y, which kind of frustrated me, but also I understand that the conversations that had to happen were so hard for them to have. So I loved it. I think I gave it a 4.5 or even a 5-star maybe. I do think about it often. I would love to read it again, I think. So yeah, I did really enjoy this. I've also shared it with a lot of friends since, which has been fun. So my book is quite worn, which is cute. I don't have many books that have been like got wear and tear on them because I look after my books so well, but when I'm then sharing my books with people, it is cute to then see them be so loved. So yeah, I did thoroughly enjoy this. Highly recommend. I also read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid this year. This is an automatic 5-star. This is one of my favourite books of the year. I absolutely loved this. If you don't know what it's about, it is about a girl who her high school sweetheart, who she's been married to and with for like 10 years, goes missing and is pronounced dead. He goes on a work trip. Sorry, my memory card just died. But this book was incredible. So I don't know where I got up to in talking before it cut me out, but her high school sweetheart, love of her life, goes missing on a work trip. He is pronounced dead, and so you spend a lot of time grieving with her and seeing how she grieves, and eventually moves on, as you would. She was in her early 20s when he passed away. She still had a lot of life to live, so found a new partner and moved on and was engaged to this new partner when she gets a phone call to say that, well, and it is her dead husband saying that he has spent the last few years trying to find her, and basically she has to choose which one she's going to spend the rest of her life with because she loves them both and they both love her, and she never expected this to be a problem, and it was heartbreaking and it was beautiful and it was very interesting, and yeah, it was very interesting to see who and why she picked the person she did at the end. So I highly, highly recommend this if you haven't already read it. 5 stars, 5 stars. 5 stars. I then read a couple of books by Hannah Bonham Young this year. She has quickly become one of my favourite authors in the whole world, and I'm very excited to see what she comes out with in the new year. I know that her books are now being traditionally published, which is so exciting. So I haven't bought her first 2 indie covers, but I have bought Out on a Limb. So the 3 books I read by her were Next of Kin, Next to You, and then Out on a Limb. These books have been some of my prized possessions this year. I loved Next of Kin. That was I don't know how to explain it. It's a very short book, very amazing. I absolutely just fell in love with the way that Hannah Bonham Young writes people and writes people's quirks and brings characters with slight differences into a story so authentically and without it being a thing, if that makes sense. And she just has really real characters. And so her first book, Next of Kin, is about Chloe learns that her mum has given birth to a baby. She has no contact with her mum generally. They have a really rocky relationship. She learns that her mum is in labour and is called to the hospital, and basically her mum is like an alcoholic and just not in a good place, and so she asks Chloe to take on this baby, Willow. Chloe does not reach the financial amount to like have this baby come and live with her, like due to like in a foster system, in a foster way, and so she is told she has to house share with someone else in a similar situation who's trying to gain guardianship of someone but can't afford like the whole rent side. So it's her and Willow, and then this guy and his younger brother who he's trying to get like custody of as well. And it's just beautiful, and I really liked it, and I just love some of the like disability reps in there, and that was amazing. Then Next to You is then a spin-off of that with two of the characters from Next of Kin. Loved that as well. And then Out on a Limb has almost my whole heart because this book was just so beautiful. Wynn has a limb difference and she has a small little hand, and she meets Beau on Halloween, and they hit it off and they have a one night stand. She ends up getting pregnant, and the story goes from there, and it's just so beautiful and so heartwarming, and it's just one of my favorite books of the year, and I highly recommend. This is no longer on Kindle Unlimited as of a couple of days ago. However, it is being traditionally published soon, so I'm really hoping that these books will become available easily in Australia. However, if not, I'll be getting them off Amazon because I do want to own her books, because she is one of my favorite authors. Even though she only has a few books, I'm hoping to always be sort of like just up to date with all of her books. And I just love this, and look at this beautiful cover. I love this cover more than the new one coming. Sorry, Hannah, but I do. It's just so beautiful. I do like the new cover, but this is just so cute and so special. I could also think that that would be a book I would be able to annotate really easily because there's so many beautiful quotes in it and so many stunning moments, but I've never annotated a book before. But I think I could annotate that. I highlighted a lot in my Kindle to be. Okay, what was next? I then read I Don't Need Therapy by Toni Felicia Lodge. Love her, love the book. I did cry. I highly recommend. I then read 4 of the 5 Chestnut Springs books. I only own 3 of them. I need to get the others. I have got like the indie covers or like the special edition covers that are my favorite, but the next one's so expensive. So I've read 4, I've got 3. I need to buy the other 2, but they're like $40 or $50 per book at the moment, and I'm stressed because they're gonna not be out forever, and I'm really worried that I'm not gonna get them, but I can't justify that money right now. So I read Flawless, I read Heartless, I read Powerless, and I read Reckless. I'm still yet to read whatever the last one is. I can't remember what it's called, but Flawless I loved. I gave it like a 4-star. I really liked Summer. Big fan of her, really enjoyed it. Heartless was my favorite of the series so far, at least. I just loved Willa. She is my favorite character out of all of them so far, and I also loved Daddy Cade. He just did something to me. And Single Parent, we know how I feel about Single Parent. I loved this one. This was my favorite. And I'm really sorry, Rachel, but this is my least favorite out of, maybe Reckless was actually my least favorite. To me, they've gotten worse, unfortunately. I didn't really like Reckless that much at all. I probably gave it a 3-star. This one was kind of close though. I did not feel the same about Jasper Jervis as everyone seems to feel about Jasper Jervis. He kind of gave me the ick. I know that's a bit controversial. I don't know. I just didn't like them very much. I don't think they were very well suited, and I just found them a little bit frustrating. I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't feel it with this one, but this one, my fave. My heart and soul. I love Cade and Willa. They are my favorites in this series. And I feel even once I read Beau's story, I still feel like Heartless will be my favorite. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Chestnut Springs series is... This book feels different to this book. How have I never noticed that? Weird. The Chestnut Springs series is like cowboy romance, but I don't think it can be even classified as that because not all of them are even doing cowboy stuff. But basically it's all small town-ish. They live on a ranch. There's brothers and like then surrogate brothers, and they all get a love story. Same as like a small town romance vibe. They live in Chestnut Springs. It's beautiful. I love the setting. I love the vibes. I love their dad. It's great. I can't believe I only just realised that this book literally feels different to these ones. Weird. But yeah, highly recommend the Chestnut Springs series. They do now have, in these covers, you can get them for $12 from Big W. So if you don't want to spend $30 to $50 on a book like I have before these came out in Australia, I highly recommend you going to get all of these from Big W. But also I love these covers. They're so stunning. I love the light. I just think they're so cool. Next I read The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret. Love them both. If you don't know what they are, it is is like psychological thrillers. There is a lady who goes to work as a housemaid for a family. She has just been in prison and therefore needs a job. She is a housemaid for this family and they are crazy. Absolutely crazy, and it's basically just a big old thriller. It was great, devoured it, and then they brought out a second one as well. They are by Fred McFadden. Loved it. I know a lot of people who liked them have gone on and loved a lot of her other books. I haven't been in a thriller mood again since, really, but I loved them. Flew through them. So much fun. Then, just like everyone else in the world, I then got into Fourth Wing, which my husband currently has, so I can't show you the physical copy, but I read Fourth Wing, and I also read Iron Flame. Loved both of them. It's just bringing me back to like back in the day when new Harry Potter books would come out. That's the vibe I get. If you don't know what Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are about, it's about Violet Sorrengail, and she goes to a war college. There are 4 different like houses, I guess, and she gets basically forced into the Riders Quadrant, and the Riders then ride dragon, and it's just so fun. There's a lot of juiciness, there's a lot of, it's just, I don't know, I can't even explain. If you go on TikTok and write Fourth Wing, that'll be plenty for you to learn. But anyone I have got onto reading Fourth Wing have absolutely loved it. I'm hoping Hayden devours it. I gave it to my brother for Christmas. He has loved it. So yeah, thoroughly enjoy. They're great. I'm very excited for the third one, although there is no date coming. But yeah, both 5 stars for me. Highly, highly recommend. If you are someone who has never read fantasy but enjoyed like Harry Potter and like Divergent and The Hunger Games, those sort of things, I think you would really love this series. I think it's getting a lot of people into fantasy who maybe have only been romance readers up until now, and I really enjoy that. Then I read Never Have I Ever by Stephanie Alvis. This one was so random, but I kind of loved it. She popped up on like a Facebook group, and it was a very silly, goofy time, and I enjoyed it, and it was a little bit spicier than I was expecting, but I do recommend. It was just like a fun time. I can't tell you what it was about though, because I honestly can barely remember. I then read all 3 books in the Windy City series, and I think this is one of my favorite series of the year as well. I read Mile High, and then it is Caught Up and The Right Move. I absolutely loved these. This first one is a, they're all kind of like sports romancy. Again, interconnecting standalone series, so each book follows a different couple. My favorite type of series, obviously. And I just loved these. I really liked all of the male main characters a lot. I loved Stevie in this. She is a little bit more curvy and just really works that, and I think that's really fun. I don't often read books like that. I don't know, I feel like curvy girls aren't given much in books these days, and so I really liked that it was very naturally put into this, that she was not a size 6, which was stunning. I also loved the second one. Highly recommend the Windy City series. These are also now available in Australia really easily. Well, over $14 from Big W as well, which we love to see. I then read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and I'm not gonna lie, this fell a little flat for me. I know people love it, it's their favorite, but it's okay. It didn't grip me like it grips everyone else. I'm currently reading the second one. Again, it's not giving 5 star. I think I rated this about a 3 star. It was okay. I love the covers. I thought it was gonna be better than it was. I then read Nowhere But Here by Renee Carlino. I read this on my Kindle. A lot of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, which I love. I did enjoy this a lot. I gave it a 4 star. The main character, is made to go to a farm for a story. That's basically the setup for their love story. Is the easiest way to explain it. I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. I also listened to Daisy Jones and the Six, and also Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've almost read all of her backlist now. I think the only book I haven't read yet is Carrie Soto Is Back, which I have started, and I absolutely loved them both. 5 stars for both. I love Daisy Jones and the Six as an audio. It is a full cast audio, and because it's like interview style, it's like listening to interviews. It was amazing. I loved it. So I highly recommend. I have not watched the TV show yet, but I'm very tempted to because I think it would be good. And also Malibu Rising ended up really surprising me. I struggle reading books in third person, and so if a book is in third person, I prefer to listen to it as an audiobook because it's as if someone's telling me a story, if that makes sense. So I really enjoyed that in the end. It was so good, and yeah, I've loved everything pretty much that I've read by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And there's only one book of hers that has been below a 4 star for me, so love that for me. I then also read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, which was a 5 star read. I would read this again 100 times over. It was so stunning. I wish I could read it for the first time again. If you have not read this, it is so beautiful. It's childhood friends, like childhood best friends to lovers. Oh, it just breaks your heart and puts it back together again. So highly recommend. And then also read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have not continued this series yet, but I definitely will. This is a YA like mystery and I really enjoyed it. Very fun, very quick and easy. This book is so short, 300 pages. It is about a group of people who are hired by the FBI because they have like special talents, I guess. Not necessarily like powers, but they, like the main girl is really good at reading people. So just like these skills that the FBI have discovered that they have, and they're basically there to like uncover cold cases. So loved this, was very fun. I do want to read the rest of the series. I have not got around to them yet because I have too many books on my TBR and I cannot prioritize. I then started reading the Runaway series by Devney Perrott. I read Runaway Road, Wild Highway, and then the start of this year I finished the third one. Again, I really loved. These are 5 interconnecting standalone books that range, they're not quite small town, but it's 5 kids who, they all grew up in a junkyard, and then the car that they lived in, or like 2 of them lived in, has been restored and taken back to one of the original owners. She is now wanting to give it back to one of the other owners and has to drive halfway across the country to get it to him, if that makes sense. So the first story is about her, and she drives it to one town, meets up with one of her friends from the junkyard, and they all are kind of like passing the car along, and you just see where all of them now are, like 10 years later in life after living in a junkyard as teenagers. It's really interesting. They all have like all these really sad backstories, and then they're finding love and like how their lives have all ended up, and because they all sort of like lost touch with each other, it's really cool to see them like reconnect and yeah, see where everyone is so many years later. So I really like them. They're also super short, like less than 300 pages each, and they're stunning. And again, I just love Devney Perry's writing, clearly. I then read Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. This book really surprised me. I'm not a rom-com girl. I watch rom-coms. Reading rom-coms usually gives me the ick. It's usually a bit cringe for me. Tell me why I loved this. Tell me why this was a 5-star book for me this year. I was obsessed with these characters. I loved Olivia Marshall. She was so funny and goofy and silly and like embarrassing and just so herself. I listened to this on audio and then bought the physical book because I just wanted it on my shelf. It's also so cute. So I'm definitely considering reading a lot more Lynn Painter in the new year because I just loved this so much. Highly recommend, especially if you're wanting something just silly, goofy, will make you giggle and just like fun. I also really liked the male main character. I just found this so funny and I just loved it. I loved it. Highly recommend. I then read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. After reading Happy Place, I had very high expectations for Emily Henry books. I was let down. This, I would say, was like a 3-star. It was okay. I didn't really like Charlie, the main character. This is about 2 rival people in the publishing industry. One is a writer, one is an editor, one is a literary agent, and I just didn't feel their chemistry. I didn't really like their story that much. It was very blah to me. I liked the writing and like the setting was nice because they went to a small town. Her relationship with her sister was kind of annoying. I don't know. I didn't love this. I am going to give Emily Henry another go though because I still want to read her other books. So yeah, I didn't love this, unfortunately. I then finished Addicted for Now, which is a Calloway Sisters book. This is the 3rd book in the Calloway Sisters, or like Addicted series, sorry. Addicted/Calloway Sisters series. This book is big for like a romance book. If you do not know the Addicted series, it is really good. I'm really enjoying the series. I need to get back into it again because I do really enjoy these books. These books follow 3 different couples. The first is Lily and Lo, which is the first 3 books, and then the next book is Rose and Connor. The first 3 books are the ones that I have read, so these are all following Lily and Lo. They both have addictions, and basically we follow them in learning to work as a team and love each other and work their way through these addictions. So I very much did enjoy this. It took me a while to get into. I think I got like 20% through and then didn't read it for a really long time and then picked it back up and smashed it within like a week, which is quite good for the size of it. I do highly recommend this series. However, go in knowing that it is a 10-book series. So that's a lot. I'm currently 3 books down, but I am excited to see Rose and Connor's story. I then finished the year. I read a little Christmas novella. I read The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny by Willa Nash, aka Devney Perry, and I really liked it. It was a good, quick little story. It was about a nanny at Christmas time, and it was very sweet, and I highly recommend if you need a Christmas book for the new, like for 2024 at Christmas time. I'll probably read the other 2 companion novels that go with it in the Christmas coming, like at the end of this year. It was just a good little read. And then my last book was Yours Truly by by Abby Jimenez. And I've been waiting to read an Abby Jimenez book for a really long time and just hadn't got around to it. And I just loved every second of that book. And it was a 5-star and a perfect way to end the year. I think it was just so beautiful and so gorgeous. I loved that it was a male with anxiety. My husband has anxiety, and it was really nice to hear that represented in a book. And it was really eye-opening, even for me, someone who deals with a partner who has anxiety. It was really interesting to just like see a lot of different points of view of how it can affect relationships with people and how their thought processes work and stuff. So yeah, it was really interesting. I loved it, and I can't believe I read 69 books this year, and I can't believe I've been talking for like 3 hours, it feels like. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk books for a very long time. I look forward to talking more about books in 2024. I think I will make a separate video on my 2024 reading goals and my plan for 2024 and the books I want to read. Obviously I have a lot of books that I've started a series and have not finished, so I'm hoping to wrap up a few more series over 2024, but time will tell obviously how I go with that. But I hope you had a wonderful reading year in 2023, whether you've been reading for years, whether you just got back into it in the last couple of years, or whether you've just gotten into it in the last couple of weeks. I love that for you. Getting back into reading has been one of the greatest things that has happened to me in the last few years, obviously not including my children, but something for me, reading has been so good. I feel like it's really cool these days that all of us little book nerds from back in the day are all finding a place on the internet and getting back into reading as adults. It's really cool. I keep seeing all these people that I've known for so long start to get back into reading. Everyone who read Harry Potter as a kid and The Hunger Games and all John Green books, and like I used to read Kathy Cassidy and all the Rainbow Magic books and all of these books that I used to read as like a kid and then a teenager that we all just stopped in our late teens to early 20s, and it's really cool to see the magic of reading come back. So yeah, I hope you have had the best reading year, and I hope 2024 is kind to you. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all this way. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be very soon. Bye.